Okay, I'm going to go straight on because we didn't give the candidates an opportunity to introduce themselves at the beginning. I am going to give them an opportunity to sum up why they think we should vote for them. So I'll carry on with the questions, and the next one is the one from Okay. Does the Green Party possess cultural sensitivity? And can you make an argument for the Green Party possessing cultural sensitivity? 1 minute again, I'm afraid. Shall I start with you?
Okay. Right. Well, I stand before you in a salwar kameez, which is probably a good start to defend my position here. And I'm very well travelled. That doesn't mean I go and live in hotels. That means I tend to backpack and live with people. And I don't mind sitting in the earth and learning. I don't mind sitting on a pile of carpets in a souk with a guy with a Kalashnikov across his lap talking politics. I've got involved in all this because I love it. I really like talking about the issues people have. And in terms of cultural sensitivity, I don't know if sensitivity, I think it's awareness or it's a willingness to embrace. I think I've definitely got that. I live in the town of Newport in South Wales, which is full of immigrant populations of one sort or another. Just look at the shops, the Polish shops, the halal shops. It's all there. It's a big, big melting pot, and we love it. And I can walk around with this or in a sari or in anything I want because people know me quite well and used to take pictures of me. Going to show my mum. They don't do that anymore. But it's not just about being sensitive. I mean, the only place I can't go is a mosque because I'm a woman and I'm shown the door before I get to it. So it's quite difficult in that respect. But with most other cultures, I find it really, really easy to enjoy them. And I think that's perhaps the key to it, enjoying the difference.
It's a good question, Dacre. I don't know what it's like to be black. I don't know what it's like to be Asian. I don't know what it's like to be someone other than me. What I can tell you is up until the age of 11, I wore a uniform. And I walked to school every day and I walked home from school every day. And that uniform said, you go to the Catholic school. And I was in a town where 90% of the population was Protestant and 10% of the population was Catholic. And you had the sectarian element to Scottish life, to Scottish politics, to the whole cultural history in Scotland, and that's part of it. And basically, I would be walking home with my brother, and I was about 2.5 years older than my brother, and sometimes we'd get set upon by groups of lads much bigger than us, much older than us, for no reason other than we wore a uniform that said we were Catholic. And I took that uniform off when I was 11. I never had to wear it again. But I remember that feeling. I know what it's like to be picked out for being different, and I know what's wrong about it. And that's why I can't necessarily say whether I would extend the right cultural sensitivities, but I have a feeling. And I feel that when we have racism, when we have intolerance, when we have people treated unequally, it's wrong, and I feel that. And that's what I think I can communicate if I'm elected as leader.
I believe that we do, because although we might always do enough to communicate them, if you look at the policies for a sustainable society, we stand up for some of the most disadvantaged groups in society, among whom I'd say perhaps at the top of disadvantage is asylum seekers. A group of people who are utterly demonised. And I've talked about how the disabled and benefit recipients are demonised by the mainstream media, by the Telegraph, the Mirror, and the Mail, and all of those. But the Green Party has policies on asylum such that we say that asylum seekers should be allowed to work. We accept that many people need asylum and should be given it and should be treated fairly. And I'll give you an example of one detail of the policy, and I know about this because I wrote it myself. And as the founding chair of Green Party Women, this was one of the first policies that we passed through conference, which says that the asylum system should fully recognise how all of the potential gender disadvantages that women may face in terms of issues like forced marriage, issues like female genital mutilation, all of those kind of issues. Now, we wrote that policy after one of the first Green Party Women Days that was held in Sheffield, after we'd listened to the Sheffield Women Refugees Group. And they told us some of the things that asylum policy was utterly failing to do then. And we listened to them and we tried to write that in Green Party policy. And we heard some horror stories there. We heard how women were arriving in the country, coming from countries where they had been raped, sexually assaulted, abused by the authorities, escaped here, and they were told they had to tell their entire story the day they arrived, speaking to a male immigration officer with their children in the room. Now, we heard stories like that, and I will go and tell stories like that everywhere. I was at a Hustings in Westminster for the general election, in a room with about 600 people, and I didn't know how that story was going to go down. I really didn't know what the political tenor of that room was. But we have to be brave and go out and tell stories like that of how people are being made to suffer in this country by our system. And it's only the Green Party that's going to do that, and we absolutely need to do that, and we can do that, and we need to do it louder and more often.
Can I ask you if you want to come back on that?
Not on camera.
I'm going to move on, because I say we didn't give the candidates an opportunity to introduce themselves, and I am keen that that happens. And if you could include the question about where you see yourselves on a fluffy or a spiky end of the spectrum in your introduction of yourself, or your summing up of why you think we should vote for you. And can I give you 3 minutes each for that? Who would like to start? Can I ask you to start then?
Somebody else to purpose. Okay, well, it's really weird sort of doing this at the end rather than at the beginning, so whoa. I'm different. I'm a different kind of green. I'm quite a recent joiner to the party, but I've always voted green wherever there was a green in my locality, wherever I've lived. My background is mostly in business. I left school at 15. I'm self-educated. School didn't work for me. I knew that. I went to art college. I worked in the fashion trade, the schmutter business, the rag trade, whatever you want to call it. Cut my teeth in London, had a ball. Moved into electronics, had a ball. Moved into software, had a ball. Suddenly thought, need a change. Worked for the Welsh Development Agency, really exciting times. Working with indigenous businesses, helping to grow and to feed a latent entrepreneurial spirit, because Wales isn't renowned for entrepreneurship. It's renowned for heavy, dirty industry, disability pay, and ill health. So I had a fabulous time working with lots and lots of businesses, and I wanted to underline that today, because the economy we want to see is going to be propped up by small businesses. They're the ones that are going to be the backbone of the society we want to see. And yet we haven't developed a way of talking with small businesses. And I'm very keen to use this background of mine to start a business group within the Green Party and to, from day one, start talking to people about what we mean to businesses, because we've got a bad name. People say to me, I wouldn't vote Green, that's the anti-business party. This is a perception, and I really want to deal with this, because businesses in all localities are very, very important, both to the community and to the economy. And they tend not to cheat, and they tend not to tax dodge. Okay. So that bit about me, I hope you understand the differentials. Also, in bringing up my children, in working on lots of local campaigns, in losing children, in adopting children, in even practically adopting a Tibetan monk, a torture victim who turned up in town, and I said, you better come home and live with me. I have this huge, huge background of otherness, and I understand the otherness that people feel, the sense of being another and maybe not part of a group. And that's really why I want the Green Party to be more inclusive. I didn't know about the fluffy and spiky comment, actually, before it was just made. But, you know, if you...
One word answer, Pippa.
Oh my God.
If
So
you...
which one? Fluffy or spiky?
You ready? No, it's going to do it. No.
If you always set the same bait, you'll always catch the same fish.
Mm-hmm.
I came to the Green Party not by knowing a single person in the Green, just through the website, okay? And once I knew a few local Greens, I did actually question whether I'd made the right decision. Obviously, I think I made the right decision, but I did question it. And I'm not fluffy, and I'm not spiky. I do think I'm a little bit different. Maybe it's just what we need.
Okay, I first start with a fluffy spiky. I think it's pretty obvious that I'm spiky. I probably will remain spiky, although at home I can be very fluffy with my boys. I'm very, you know, especially when you get down doing some wrestling, you've got to be very gentle when they're doing that. I apologise as well. I lost focus midway through this because what Natalie said came as an absolute blindside to me. I wouldn't have stood, I wouldn't have started this campaign if I was aware of that, because I think I made clear when people were sounding me out that I could only do this job properly, and it is a job that I really, really want to do. You know, I've done a lot of things in my life. I've tried stand-up comedy. I've jumped out of a perfectly good plane. They did attach a parachute. It was helpful. I used to do boxing. I've done a lot of things, but everything I've done in my life has been in preparation to try and do this. So if I can't stand, if that is what happens out of tonight when I follow up with emails, then it will be of huge regret, of bitter regret to me that I can't. But I will go back and I will refocus on 2014 in the Northwest, and we've got lots of work to do here, and I'm selected as lead candidate here. But apologies, I'll keep the emotion down. I'd like to thank my wife Harriet for being here tonight. So she's heard all this direct. So you're not going to see anything on Twitter or Facebook and go, oh my goodness, what's this? So you know what's been going on. So yeah, I mean, if things progress, if I can stand again, then I'd love to kind of say to you, these are all the reasons that I want you to stand. This is the reasons why I want you to elect me as leader. What I will say is have a look at the website, petercranie.org.uk. Have a look over the weekend. If I've got the information over the weekend, I'll put it up over the weekend. If it needs to wait until Monday morning, then it will go up on Monday morning. But we had a holiday booked a while back, and we're taking that holiday from Monday afternoon onwards, and that's protected family time, and I'm not going to give it up. So if I've not got an answer by then, I think what I'd have to just do is announce that the campaign's suspended pending I get some information on it. But thank you all for coming tonight.